Hi everyone. This week's mini lecture is about talking to the text. I'm going to use an excerpt from Frederick Douglass's book, Narrative of the Life of the Slave. That's actually, you have an excerpt called Learning to Read and Write from him and from that book in your reading this week. I'm going to use just a short passage and demonstrate to you how to talk back to the text or talk to the text. This is a very handy strategy both for improving your comprehension, taking notes, and also for delving deeper into the subject matter or into the text that you're reading. So let's take a look at how that works. Okay, everybody, I'm going to get started. I'm sorry for the movement. I'm trying to do this with my phone, and I don't have a setup to hold everything still, but if you just bear with me. So I'm just going to start reading, and then I'll show you how I talk to the text. In the same book, I met with one of Sheridan's mighty speeches on and in behalf of Catholic emancipation. So, who was Sheridan? Is it important that I know who Sheridan is? All right. These were choice documents to me. I read them over and over again with unabated interest. They gave tongue to interesting thoughts of my own soul. They gave tongue. That's an interesting way to say it. Why does he say it this way? You know, why not they expressed? For example, okay, I can come back to that later and think about that some more. Do I get what this means? They gave tongue to. So from the context, I'm thinking that what they gave tongue to means is they expressed. Oops, sorry. I think. All right. They gave tongue to interesting thoughts of my own soul, which had frequently flashed through my mind and died away for want of utterance. Okay? Utterance. That's a word we don't hear very often. For want of utterance. Okay, for want, in this case, means lack, I think. I'm judging from the context, right? I'm also remembering that Frederick Douglass was writing back in 1835. So they said things differently then. They wrote differently then. They used a different kind of language. So want of utterance isn't something we'd be likely to say now. I think what this means is died away for lack of being spoken. From not being spoken, let's say. There, I'm writing it over here. Okay. Where was I? The moral which I gained from the dialogue was the power of truth over the conscience of even a slaveholder. Oh, the power of truth. Something we're having issues with these days. Okay, so it's hard to write all this, you guys, and hold the phone. Okay, so what I'm thinking, you know, the power of truth over the conscience of even a slaveholder. So I'm thinking about the power of truth, and I'm relating it to what's happening today, because we have the truth that videos are showing us. So I'm going to put here police brutality, okay? I'm not going to write this all out because it's too much. But we have the truth of what the videos show us, that innocent people are being killed by the police. And yet people are saying, no, that's not the truth. There isn't systemic racism in the United States. People aren't being targeted because of their color or their skin. And so I'm just kind of wondering about this power of truth thing over the conscience of even a slaveholder. So how much power does truth have for someone who wants to believe what they believe, right? Okay. What I got from Sheridan was a bold denunciation of slavery and a powerful vindication of human rights. All right, vindication means argument in favor, I believe. So I can always go back and double check. See, when I'm talking to the text and I'm writing things down, like this, if I find it necessary to know who Sheridan was, I can go back and check it out. All right? I've got it written somewhere. The reading of these documents enabled me to utter my thoughts and to meet the arguments brought forward to sustain slavery, but while they relieved me of one difficulty, they brought on another even more painful than the one of which I was relieved. Uh-oh. So, what could be worse? Why? All right. The more I, turn the page, guys, read, the more I was led to abhor and detest my enslavers. Okay, see, so here we have another word. This means hate, basically. Just remember, he uses, what do we call this? Old-fashioned vocabulary. But not just old-fashioned. So this just goes to show you Douglass was self-taught. And had an amazing vocabulary. Which is why some people tried to claim that his narrative wasn't really written by him because he was a slave. So how could he have known how to read and write? But here he tells you how in this reading. When you read the whole thing, you'll see what he says. He was very clever. I could regard them in no other light than a band of successful robbers who had left their homes and gone to Africa and stolen us from our homes, and in a strange land reduced us to slavery. Wow. Okay, so this is interesting to me. Given that slaves were not allowed to read, and importing. God, that sounds horrible. Sorry. How do you import human beings? I don't remember when it became illegal for them to bring slaves from Africa anymore, but I think it was illegal by the time Frederick Douglass was alive. Importing slaves from Africa was illegal. How did slaves know about Africa? Okay, that may seem like a dumb question, but if they weren't allowed to read, and if they didn't know anybody who was brought over from Africa, okay, maybe told by their parents right? So this is cool because this indicates to me that slaves kept alive the notion that they came from Africa. I'm not so sure that slave owners would have told slaves that. I don't know. In any case, let me finish. I loathed them as being the meanest as well as the most wicked of men. As I read and contemplated the subject, behold, that very discontentment which Master Hugh had predicted would follow my learning to read had already come to torment and sting my soul to unutterable anguish. See, look at this language he uses. You know, how can you not help but feel what he feels? He gives you, torment and sting. So torment is not something we feel, but sting, we've all felt that, right? Unutterable. He can't even tell you how anguished he is. Okay, this is hard. Okay, so that's my demo. It went on a little long, but that's how you talk to the text.